Although the ending of Return of the Jedi makes it appear as if the Battle of Endor was the final battle in the Galactic Civil War, that is actually far from the truth. The Battle of Jakku, which took place a year after the events of Endor, marked the end of the Galactic Empire and the war itself. While it was a vicious battle on both sides, the Battle of Jakku was more of a symbolic victory for the emerging New Republic. In the canon book Star Wars Battles That Changed the Galaxy, the Battle of Jakku is shown in detail, as well as how the rebellion finally defeated the Empire once and for all. Let's get right into it. This remote desert planet in the western reaches was unremarkable, save for the part it played in Emperor Palpatine's long-planned contingency. Decades before his death, Palpatine identified the planet of Jakku as the site for a final trap. His commands, to be fulfilled by his servant Gallius Rax, called for the destruction of the entire planet, obliterating the New Republic fleet as well as many of his own forces, whom he blamed for his death. To lure the New Republic into the fight, the Empire took up defensive positions across the planet, committing nearly every weapon at their disposal to the defense: infantry, armor, starfighters, and capital ships. Rax's commanders believed they were mounting a final stand, but his ultimate aim was to cause maximum casualties. Political squabbling in the Senate delayed the New Republic's assault, leaving the defending Imperial ground troops to struggle in the harsh desert world for some time. When the attack was finally authorized, the New Republic believed they had cornered the largest remaining Imperial fleet and had the advantage of superior numbers. This was thanks in part to the recent completion of 3 Starhawk-class battleships, which were advanced warships representing the pinnacle of New Republic naval technology. Alongside the bulk of the New Republic's fleet, they prepared for the most sweeping military confrontation of the entire Galactic Civil War. The planet of Jakku saw conflict across every possible theater. There were battles in the orbit above the planet, as well as on its surface, as rebel landing teams and Imperial outposts fought for key positions across the planet. There were even conflicts underground, as fighting entered tunnel networks and bunkers. The sand-covered surface of Jakku offered few natural landmarks to guide the flow of the battle. Much of the engagement played across unremarkable sand dunes, making it difficult for reinforcements to identify where they were and where they were needed most. Falling debris from the clash above threatened to change the battle at any time, providing new waypoints as well as new dangers for the infantry. Detonating reactors and chemical spills poisoned the atmosphere and scorched entire regions in the glass. Defenders set up in a haphazard fashion in an ill-prepared attempt to fight off attacks that could arrive from any direction, making chaos the defining characteristic of the Battle of Jakku. Despite being outnumbered, the Imperial fleet gathered at Jakku made a remarkable stand using a coordinated defense strategy centered around their only remaining Super Star Destroyer, the Ravager. This ship was under the command of Grand Moff Rand. In space above Jakku, the dreadnought ship was protected by ranks of smaller Star Destroyers. In concert, an individual Star Destroyer would maneuver away and allow the Ravager to fire a volley of its primary weapons. The Star Destroyers would then return to their defensive position, shielding their prized flagship once again. The New Republic surged forward their finest ships, the Starhawk-class battleships Unity, Amity, and Concord, in an attempt to drive a wedge through the tight defense. The screen held firm until the captain of the Star Destroyer Punishment lost his nerve at the sight of the massive warships and staged a suicidal attack on the Amity. Commodore Krista Agate, commanding the Concord, was unfortunately unable to maneuver away from the resulting debris, and her ship was fatally damaged. As her vessel began to slip toward the planet below, in certain death, Agate pointed the Concord's powerful tractor beam directly at the Ravager. She called for nearby New Republic starfighters to simultaneously focus their fire on the Dreadnought's engines, leaving Grand Moff Rand helpless as his Titanic starship was dragged to the surface by Commodore Agate's sacrificial strategy. Its destruction marked the beginning of the end for the Imperial fleet. After a prolonged battle on all fronts, it became increasingly clear that the New Republic would emerge victorious at Jakku. The Super Star Destroyer Ravager had fallen, the contingency had failed, Rax had been killed, and other key members of the Imperial High Command were either dead or had disappeared during the battle. The New Republic had endured significant losses of their own, but clearly held the upper hand in the battle. With its military crippled, the highest remaining political figure, Grand Vizier Mas Amedda, signaled his willingness to surrender. The treaty known officially as the Galactic Coordinates met the end of large-scale offenses. Yet on Jakku, fighting raged on for months, as pockets of the Imperial forces there held out until the very end. Even more surprising, a few Imperial ships made mysterious hyperspace jumps into uncharted regions of space. While the Imperial government was dissolved with the signing of the Galactic Coordinates, pockets of Imperial remnants persisted throughout the galaxy for years to come, some out of misdirected loyalty to the old regime, and others out of selfish attempts to remain in power. Complacent in their victory, the New Republic began their process of disarming and limiting their ability to make war. They were unaware that their enemy was not truly vanquished, but now lay in hiding somewhere in the unexplored vastness of the unknown regions. These Imperial remnants would eventually become the First Order. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.